Okay, let's take a moment and look at our focusing question. It is, why did countries and individuals join World War I? Since we just finished those two articles, again, not worried about you understanding all the finer points of everything that we've gone through. Tomorrow we'll dig through a little deeper. But I want us to look at the word war in both of the titles of the articles that you just read. So you've got the war to end all wars and the peace president goes to war. We're going to do one of these together so that hopefully you can kind of come up with the next one on your own. So what do you notice about the way the word war is connected to another key word in each title? If we're looking at the war to end all wars, it's connected to the word wars. So we got the word wars connected to the word wars in that title because wars is the plural version of war, meaning many, right? So the second question is, how could each word relationship indicate the article's focus for explaining why countries joined the war? So my word relationship, war to wars, what's the relationship between those words into the focus for why countries joined the war? Well, wars being plural, meaning many. And in that article, we saw that there were a bunch of smaller wars going on, and countries joined the war to end all these other little wars. So you had all these little things going on. It became this giant one, and hopefully the idea was, let's have this big one, let's knock it out and be done, which we later found out wasn't quite the case. But it was supposed to. It's supposed to put out the fires, take care of all the issues, and whether it did or didn't, later on, but history is up for debate. But that was the idea. So I want you to look at the title, The Peace President Goes to War. I want you to do the same thing. What do you notice about the way the word war is connected to its title? And then can you come up with the relationship, the word relationship? How does that word war relate to the focus of explaining why the countries joined the war? The next thing I want you to do is look at the first sentence of paragraph 4 in the war to end all wars. What word in this sentence connects to the word relationship you identified in the article's title? So we said war is connected to wars because it's the plural form. This also showed that the relationship was a bunch of smaller wars going on, and they all joined to the bigger one that was supposed to end all the other ones. So I want you to come up with what word from that sentence can you do the same thing. Can you find a word that might come up with that relationship? If it were me, to kind of help you with this one so that maybe you could do the next one. If it were me, I would look at the word conflicts. Conflicts appears in this sentence, and it's used to describe the Balkan Wars, which came before World War I. So the Balkan Wars are smaller wars that might have caused countries to join the big war, World War I. So if you look at the second one, the second task I have here, where it says the first sentence, you're going to look at the first sentence of paragraph 7, and the peace president goes to war. Same thing. The word in this sentence connects to the word relationship you identified in the article's title. And we'll take a moment. Maybe you can look at what you wrote. I wrote down that the word connection is the opposite. The opposite of war is peace. And so the relationship to the article I have is that the president wanted peace and not war. So something must have happened to make the United States decide to join. So if we look at this first sentence in paragraph 7, and the peace president goes to war, one of the words I notice in here is the word tensions. Tension appears in this sentence. The title suggests that there was a tension between the president's desire for peace and the need to go to war. And keep in mind, you have this other country that's trying to pull you in, and you have people that want to pull you in. They're like, hey, these other countries are trying to do stuff to us. We got to fight back. And then you've got people on that side that say, no, we don't always have to fight every time. So you've got a president that's like, okay, there's a war going on over there. We don't need to be a part of it. We don't have to be a part of everything. So something must have happened to bring you in. So if you look at, we've got conflicts and we have tension, which is going to lead us into our word hunt. If you noticed, both of the articles that you read explore the idea of conflict or tensions in relationship to why countries joined World War I. The first article points out that conflicts between different groups caused countries to join World War I. And then the second article points out that the United States' decision of whether or not to join the war represented a tension between war and peace. So I want you to, I don't care which article you choose, I want you to pick the one that you are most comfortable with for this next activity. And you're going to need your notebook. You're going to do a word hunt. And this word hunt is going to lead to a word wall, a class word wall. But it's also going to kind of lead up to your exit ticket. So don't skip this activity. I want you to choose one of the articles that you want to work with on this one, either the war to end all wars or the peace president goes to war. I would pick the one that you're most comfortable with. If you choose the war to end all wars, the word that you're assigned is conflicts. And if you choose the peace president goes to war, the word you're assigned is tensions. Now, what are you going to do with conflicts and tensions? Well, here's your instructions. You're going to go through your article. And you can mark up your text. It's yours to mark in. This is your book to keep. Don't lose it because we don't have that many. But I want you to make sure that you understand the definition of conflicts and the definition of tensions. If you don't know the definitions of those, go to dictionary.com, refresh yourself, at least kind of have a better understanding. And then I want you to go through your article and you're going to scan or reread or whatever. And I want you to come up with a minimum of 8 words or 2-word phrases, okay, in your article that relates to the word that you've assigned. So if you got the first one with conflicts, you're going to choose words that have some sort of representation or similarity in meaning or some sort of association, a connection to the word conflicts. And again, just 8 words, or they can be 2-word phrases. And I want you to define 3 of them. And one of those has to be a word that you're not completely familiar with. So don't go through trying to find, hey, I'm just going to find the 3 easiest ones. That's fine, but in general, you can have a lot of the words that you're familiar with, but I want you to really try to find a word that you're not familiar with. Let's kind of build on our vocabulary. When you have your 8 words or 2-word phrases completed and 3 of them are defined, remembering one of them has to be an unfamiliar word, of those 3 has to be unfamiliar, I want you to take your words and I want you to add them to the class word wall. On the wall should be a giant poster, sticky poster, and it should have one with your article, one with one article's title and one with another article's title. And I want you to add your word. You don't need sticky notes. You can just write them up there. Try to kind of keep it orderly, just so people can scan it easily because I don't want words repeated. If you find that, hey, the 8 words that I have are already up there, fine. The idea is I want as many of the words up there as possible so that we can create a nice, well-balanced word wall from this. Doesn't mean that you're out of the assignment for the word hunt. You still have to do the word hunt. It's just that class accumulation part might be a little different. When you're finished with your word hunt, you have an exit ticket. And on the exit ticket are these exact things. I just want to talk about it real quick. This is kind of like the ending kind of accumulation of everything that you've done today. I want you to choose one word from your group's annotations. And I say group's annotations because all of you have done this and you've added it to the word wall. But really it's your annotations, the stuff that you've done today. I want you to, on your exit ticket, choose one of the word. And you're going to need a word that you can do all of these activities with. The word that you choose, I want you to write its definition. And after you've written its definition, I want you to write 1 to 2 sentences explaining how that word used in the article that you read describes an incident or development about the conflict or tension in that article. So if you chose the first article, war to end all wars, and your word's conflict, whatever word from your word hunt, you need to explain how that word helps describe the conflict that's happening. If you did the tension article, same thing. What's the connection to tension that goes back to that? And then explain one thing you noticed in your article and then one thing you wonder. And then when you're finished, make sure that you turn that in. So most of your stuff should have been done in the notebook, and then your exit ticket must be completed because it's the kind of culmination of everything that you did today to kind of prove your understanding. Make sure that you turn it in.